Scratch Records.
The summit of entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas et caballeros, mesdames et messieurs, massa and gonderede, it's once more your humble servant, His Imperial Majesty, Uncle Terence, Mga Eshwar T-Boy, the Vicar General, His Apostolic Nuncio, Tranquilla Aluzungu, and today we shall be learning the chromatic scale. Hoy vamos a aprender la escala chronologia. Aujourd'hui, on va apprendre l'échelle chromatique. And today we will learn the chromatic scale. So stay tuned to Scratch Records just in a moment. Alright, as we earlier said, today we shall be learning the chromatic scale. What is the chromatic scale? We are going to understand what a chromatic scale is from this lesson. So today is day 2 of our lesson. Day 1 we treated what was music, what was sound, what was the pitch, what was the frequency, the timbre, and what have you. So today is day 2. Alright, and we shall be treating the chromatic scale. Okay. Chromatic scale, we don't know when music started, but we all believe music started when creation of the world started. That's the belief we have, because in every story, in every history we have heard about music, there have been musicians. So, but now the difference is that the early musicians, the early days, there was no science in music, but there was just the singing, but there was no science. So when science came into music now was to understand how music operates, because you see, the small magic in music is everybody can just sing something. Everybody can even just compose something. But now to actually make sense out of it, to know which note to use, why you're using this note, what's even a note, what's a chord, what's a dyad, what's a triad, why do you have to go this? This is all what we'll learn. And as I said, these are the things, these are basics of knowledge, of music, of musical theory. It's not even everything, but I'm taking just what is required of, what's very necessary, in such a way that it's going to make your understanding in music fluent, your playing of any instrument very fluent. Okay, now, as I said, music, when the musical scientists came in, they noticed that people were just singing music, but there was no science about it. They never understood the formula, the science about music. But music has a very technical science, and that's what we are going to treat today in the chromatic scale. So what's the science? The scientists discovered that there were 13 numbers in music. By then there were numbers. Today we call them notes, but they were numbers. There are 13 numbers. And it is like this, just number 13 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Which means that it's like an alphabet. It's like the English alphabet, for instance. In English, there is A, B, C, D, right up to Z. And there is no English word on earth you can make without using one of the letters of the alphabet from A to Z. That's how music is. It means from 1 to 13, there is no song on earth you can play without using either 1 or 13. But now we are still at the level of the numbers. We will get to the advanced stage where the numbers are going to become notes later. Okay, but this is how it went through. And they came up with a formula. It's all about formula. Life is formula. To understand anything, if you understand the formula of that thing, it makes it so easy. For example, you're doing arithmetic. I remember when we were in primary school, we had what they call counting sticks. You could have 100 counting sticks in your bag, and that's how you do. That was the formula we used. Okay, so as we are saying, or as we were saying, when we're in primary school, we had too many counting sticks. What we used as our formula were counting sticks. We had sticks like each pupil has at least 100 counting sticks. So if they say 10 plus 10, it means you bring 10 counting sticks and another 10 counting sticks. You put together and you add them and it becomes 20. That gives the answer. In another word, or in other sense, we take for instance a sum like they say, okay, give me the perimeter of this sum, and if the length is 4, the width is 2, then you use the formula. And what's the formula of the perimeter? Length plus width times 2, which means the 4 plus 2 times 2, gives you the answer as simple as that. What's 4 plus 2? Is 6. 6 times 2, 12. That's the answer of that diagram or that triangle. So that's the understanding. So today we will be looking the formula of music, the formula of the chromatic scale that boils into the diatonic major scale. Okay, now there was a scale, and there is a scale they came up with, or there is a formula, sorry, that they came up with. So what is that formula? The formula is S S X S S S X. What is this supposed to mean? S stands for skip and X stands for do not skip. So we have skip here and we have don't skip here. That's the formula. So I think it's more visible now. I've brought the formula below so that it can be clear for our viewers. So you see, the formula is S S X S S S X, and S stands for skip, and X stands for do not skip. As simple as that. So, in music, skip means differently as in the normal English we say skip. Because, when you say skip, when you are on a break, for instance, it means you skip to the next. But in music, when we say skip, it means you don't skip to the next. You leave the next and skip to the third. And when they say do not skip, it means now that you skip to the next. Okay, what's this supposed to mean? Let's do it clearly. It means if we are here, they say skip. You don't skip to this number, but you dodge this number and skip to this number. And if they say do not skip, it means you skip to this number. That's how simple and easy it is. Okay, so S, as I said, stands for skip, and X stands for do not skip. So now let's use the formula to treat the math of these 13 digits. So the first is skip. So skip means we skip from 1 to 3. The second is still skip. It means we skip from 3 to 5. The third is do not skip. It means when we don't skip, we go to the next digit. The fourth is you skip. It means you skip from 6 to 8. The fifth, you skip again from 8 to 10. The sixth, you skip from 10 to 12. And the last is do not skip from 12 to 13. All right. That's how they came about the formula. But now, what is this formula going to give? So those that we have used already are these. We have 1, we have 3, we have 5, we have 6, we have 8, we have 10, we have 12, and we have 13. If you see, there are some digits, some numbers we have not used, like 2, 4, 7, 9, and 11. But we'll come come to that. So the names of notes of these numbers now that were transformed into notes, and they became do here. One was do, one is do, 3 is re, 5 is mi, 6 is fa, 8 is sol, 10 is la, 12 is si, and 13 is do. If you look carefully, you will see that do has appeared 2 times or has appeared twice. And in music, it's a rotation. That last do and the first do, they are the same numbers or they are the same notes. But now the difference is at the level of the pitch. Well, if you don't understand what is pitch, then you have to go to our first video. You understand we talked of pitch. That pitch is how high or how low the sound is in terms of frequency. So well, we are on a different topic, so we can't go there. If you never heard, if you didn't watch that, or if you don't understand what is pitch, okay, you watch our first lesson, then you understand. So the first do and the last do is just like, as we said, it's like, for example, it's like the low E of a rhythm guitar and the high E. You know, they are the same notes but of different frequencies, of different pitches. Okay, now, so this is how they came about: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Okay, another name for do is si, don't forget. Another name for re is D. Another name for E, or for mi, is E. Another name for fa is F. Another name for sol is G. Another name for la is A. Another name for C is B. While another name for do would be what? Normally C again. And that's why you see, even in the nursery school, you hear we start learning this from kindergarten, from elementary level, that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. But it's always good to go beyond just reading, because this is music. You have to sing it. You have to understand the notes, because it's very important to know how each note sounds. So it sounds like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Then if you have to invert it, it goes back like do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. It's better you sing it, because those notes, the sounds are going to help you. That's how it sounds. Okay, now, we have treated, that's how they came about the 8 notes of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Scratch Records, a place where you can undergo a complete music course without paying a dime. Here, we teach everything from scratch to finish. We offer free courses in music theory, guitar, piano, drums, vocals, and lots more. We even offer a free course on music production using softwares like Ableton, Cubase, Sonar, Logic, Pro Tools, FL Studio, and many others. What's amazing? We offer courses in sound engineering as a whole. The only opportunity for you to make your dream come true as a music genius is with Scratch Records. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for new alerts.
Okay, so just as we were saying, there are some notes or some numbers. There are some of them are still at the level of numbers. So notes are already do, re, mi, fa, sol, re, la, si, do. But 2, 4, 7, 9, 11, they are still numbers because they've not had their own names. Okay, so let's look for their names. All right. So when they had these numbers, the scientists, when they had these numbers, they still saw that it was not good enough to work with using that formula, because they saw that some numbers are still lacking. And these are the numbers that are lacking. They have not had their own names. So now, they said, all right, 2 does not have a name. 4 does not have a name. 7 doesn't have. 9 does not have. And 11 does not have. So what are their own names? Alright, they said as we are moving from left to right, do the next note is the second that does not have. So it is half of do. So it is do and a half. That's 1.5. But they call it do sharp. That half in music is sharp. In other words, we call it semitone. Well, but we'll come to that. I don't want to advance so much. So for now, let's take it as sharp. So it's do sharp. So if it is do sharp, it means the second note, which is re, should be what? Definitely re sharp. Re sharp. So this is the abbreviation of sharp. Alright. What about the third, which is mi? It doesn't have any possibility to have a sharp because the next note is a full note too. Well, we have not yet treated half and full notes. So E doesn't have a sharp because the next note is a complete note too. So it makes E free from sharp. So we go to F. And F has F sharp, which is fa sharp. Then now we have sol, which is G. And sol has a sharp, so it is sol sharp. Then the next note is la, and it has a sharp too. So it's la sharp. Then we have C or T. You know, there are two ways in pronouncing these. So mostly, some people call it C, some call it T, but all work. So either C or T is the same word, but another name for it is P. And T doesn't have a sharp because you go back to do, and the first do is still the last do, so this do sharp is still this other do sharp. Okay, then you remember we have said another name for do is C. So another name for do sharp definitely will be C sharp. So this is C sharp like do sharp. So another name for re is D. So another name for re sharp should be D sharp. It's very important. You should know all of the names. When you're doing professional music, you should be able to know the words professionally because you find yourself in a situation where they will not tell you that play this note. They will not talk only about no do. Somebody will just say A. Some will say B and don't get frustrated there. You find yourself in a situation where they will not even call it A or La. They will call it 6. You should understand where we are coming to that. All right. So mi is E, as we already say, and it does not have a sharp. All right. Fa is F. So another name for fa sharp should be F sharp. Should be F sharp. Okay. Sol. Yeah, sol is G. So another name for sol sharp should be G sharp. G sharp. Then la is A. And another name for la sharp should be A sharp. As simple as that. T doesn't have a sharp. Then you go back to do. And those notes that don't have a sharp, it can pose you a problem when because you need some time to retain these notes, to understand them. But the easiest way I used to teach students to understand is that those two notes that don't have sharps are the notes that have E in it. It's mi and T, or mi and C. So the E are those two notes. It makes it easy, but the rest of the notes, they have sharps. Okay, now, there is another thing we call flats. And it's obvious that you would not understand what it is as of now, but we have to treat it. But when we get into practicals, that's when you all would understand what are the flats, why we have to use the flats, because every sharp is a flat note, but now you can't understand, but you have to retain it. So now we have to treat the flat per leaving the right to the left, as we treated the sharps from leaving the left to the right. Okay, now, if we are leaving the right to the left, what do we have here? We have La sharp, which is A sharp. It's going to be T flat or B flat. B flat. That's the abbreviation of flat. It's small b. Okay, coming back, we have G sharp, which is Sol sharp. It should be what now? It should be La flat. La flat. Okay, now we have Fa sharp. Coming back, it should be Sol flat. All right. Now we have here we have Re, and Re should be now Mi flat or E flat. Mi flat. Here we have Do sharp, and in other words, the same note which is Do flat should be Re sharp. Oh, sorry, Re flat. Re flat. So we have 5 sharps and 5 flats, and all the sharps are flat, but with different names, because Do sharp is Re flat, Re sharp is Mi flat, Fa sharp is Sol flat, Sol sharp is La flat, La sharp is T flat. And we already know that another word or another name for T is B, another name for La is A, another name for Sol is G, another name for Mi is E, another name for Re is D. So this should be B flat, A flat, G flat, E flat, and D flat. So that is how they came about the major scale. It gives us what they call the diatonic. The diatonic major scale. And what are the notes of the diatonic major scale? It is Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. In another word, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So here we have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Fa, Sol, La. Either C or T, it goes. Do. And in other words, you must make sure you know the difference. You don't join them. In other words, it's C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So this is what we call the diatonic major scale. This is the major scale, and this is the formula of the major scale. So you see what chapter 2 has brought us from the chromatic scale. It has boiled down to the diatonic major scale. And this is just the basic and a very important part of music theory. You need to know how the notes came about, and that's how you will know how to implement the notes. So in our next lesson, we will see how to use these notes from this formula, how to put them in use. Thank you once more. It has been your humble servant, as you all know, and we have been treating the chromatic scale today. So watch out for the next lesson.
Scratch Records.
The summit of entertainment.